taking off. Taking off. It's a huge crowd out here in Pretoria for this rally, and we are supported by the agitators for the Biafra Republic. This is big, this is huge, taking place now in Pretoria, South Africa.
Yeah, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Samson Akinola. I told you that the movement for Yoruba self-determination have started, and I'm going to intensify it. I am presently in London right now. Look at the tranquility in my environment here. This is the type of tranquility, serene environment we want in Yoruba land, and we can only attain this if we can exit Nigeria and leave Nigeria for the Fulanis. Because I have promised you, I have started a movement and no retreat, no going back. The Fulanis must leave Nigeria. The Fulanis cannot be in charge of Nigeria anymore. I'm mentioning Fulanis precisely as a nationality. In a normal society, in a sane society, I'm not to mention names, but because of the meticulous evidence before me on my table, I have the conviction to mention Fulanis, especially the leaders of the Fulanis in Nigeria, starting from Dr. Sheikh Gumi, Professor Usman Yusuf, Bello Matawale, Bello Badejo, Bala Muhammad, and Kwansanko, and others, but those are the notable ones on my table. Look, Nigeria can never move forward with the mindset of the Fulanis. For example, we other Yorubas, we other nationalities, precisely, we are thinking of great development in Nigeria or in our lands. But while the Fulani people are thinking with the mindset of capturing Nigeria, of annexation, genocide, killing people anyhow, lives has no meaning for the Fulanis, the terrorists, and the Yorubas cannot coexist with the beast that has no value for humanity, no value for lives. The Yoruba cannot coexist with them, and I'm passing this message to Dr. Sheikh Gumi that Yorubas cannot coexist with the beast Fulanis. Perhaps there are about 5% Fulanis that are law-abiding citizens. Yes, we can coexist with those ones. But all the ones that are destroying Nigeria, killing human beings, like chicken, we cannot coexist with them. And the movement have started that all Fulanis in Nigeria, we must check their immigration records. You must remember they are aliens. They came to Nigeria in 1804 or something. But it is time for us to checkmate them. The bad eggs among the Fulanis, we must drive them away. We must drive them out of Nigeria, or else they will collapse Nigeria. Nigeria can never grow. I started my activism with One Nigeria in about 15 years ago. But what I've seen today, Nigeria can never have peace under the reign of the Fulanis. It is only in Nigeria we could see where they converted the terrorists into Nigerian army without remorse, without trial, without probation. They just converted them into Nigerian army. How could you put such people back into Nigerian army, the security force of Nigeria? That is absolutely nonsense. And this is the handwork of the Fulanis, especially the Fulanis leader that says Anytime you fight Boko Haram, you fight Allah. Anytime you kill Boko Haram, you are disturbing the work of God. And I want His Excellency Sultan Sokoto to come and explain better for us what he meant by that statement. And I'm using this platform to appeal to President Trump that we need more action in Nigeria. We need more actions. It seems that Nigeria is not under good governance. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has failed Nigeria under Section 14(2)(b) of the 1999 Constitution, that the security of Nigerians shall be paramount to the federal government of Nigeria, to all the government of Nigeria, according to Section 318 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. So in this situation, we want help from any other countries and United States of America, or else the Fulanis will kill every one of us one by one. This movement has been ongoing for years. When Bello Badejo and co. said, that was about 15 years ago, that they have captured Yoruba land. It's about 5,000 foot soldiers on Yoruba land. That was about 15 years ago. And as of today, in my opinion, it will be about 50,000 foot soldiers on Yoruba land. And we are ready to attack it. We are ready to settle, to defend our state. So that was one of the reasons why we have to establish Yoruba Western Security Network that will be in charge of communities, that any herdsmen we see rearing their cattle on our street, they'll be arrested, as the Hizbah did, as the Hizbah is doing in the northern part of Nigeria. So that is exactly what the Western Security Network will be doing in the Yoruba land. And the Western Forest and Border Patrol team will be in charge of the forest, whereby we're going to man our forest. And I've got some technological equipment. I've got drones, I've got telescopes and others, CCTV, that we're going to install in some vulnerable areas in Yoruba land. So this will help us to monitor the criminals on our land. Where I will be back again in Nigeria by June this year, when we will start installing the CCTV in the vulnerable communities in Yoruba land. Okay? This nation, we shall get it. I can assure you, between now to 2035, we shall get Yoruba nation. Or it might be earlier. If the Fulani continue with this mindset, it might come earlier. But that is the fact. Yoruba sovereign independent nation is around the corner, aka Yoruba nation is around the corner. And we shall get it sorted out. I promise you, one Nigeria is dead. It is only Yoruba sovereign independent nation is alive. And that is what we keep up to. And that is what I'm agitating for. And I promise you, we shall get it done. So have a lovely and peaceful day. I'm going to work now.
Why the silent? Why is Aso Rock silent when we see this kind of a thing? Why are the media aides to the president actually silent over this issue? So it is quite very uncomfortable at this point in time when you see this kind of deadly silence coming from the presidency. Another factor is this: at this point in time, where the Sultan of Sokoto and Gumi and the rest of them are saying Bola Ahmed Tinubu should forget about 2027. There is something that Tinubu doesn't want to step really hard on the northern people, or those who are having this sympathy for this terrorist, is because that we understand clearly what happened under Jonathan. That the same APC was part of the people that actually connived and brought this terrorism in Nigeria. So it looks like the president is trying to be careful over his moves against the North interest to re-election, because if he tries it, then they might open some kind of a secret that will shake the world. And that's why Bola Ahmed Tinubu is careful not even to go after Gumi, not even to question anybody within the northern class, who has been on several occasions. Look at the issue of Malami. Look at the kind of guns that we have found in his house. Look at even Ribadu. Look at the Minister of Defense for State, Matawale. Look at all these people within that class. So it tells you a lot of things that is actually going on. And these are the people who are behind what is going on in Nigeria. So it's likely that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is treading very carefully not to be, exposed on how radical Islamism, is gradually, taking over the Nigerian space. Even with the presence of the U.S. military in Nigeria, the killing is still going on. And that's what Gumi is saying, that the presence of Trump cannot stop these people. Unless the United States of America just want, I don't know the kind of level of diplomacy, because it's becoming very too uncomfortable for people, because this is not what we expected them to do. We saw their decision in between Somalia and Somaliland. We saw what is happening in Canada. Alberta is almost pulled out from Canada, as a sovereign nation recognized. Then why is the United States of America finding it difficult with all this overwhelming evidence to come out and tell the global world, this is where we stand. We are pushing for the disintegration of Nigeria, not in two regions, and no, we don't want that. We want a separate nation.
Why you don't want that? Why not the south and the northern part of Nigeria? Why don't you want that, Mr. Chief?
Okay, there was nothing like the south and the north. It has never been there. It was an artificial.
Former president of Libya, talk about Gaddafi, suggested that Nigeria should split into the southern and the northern part of Nigeria because of the rising of insecurity then, and this not togetherness. Gaddafi then suggested this. I don't think that the south have been in peace for decades now.
The south have never been in peace. The south have never been in peace. You cannot be talking about injustice and you are talking about peace. The south have never been in peace. And the South can never stay together. There are levels of understanding that we must talk to ourselves.
Mr. Chinedu, when I talk about the Southwest, the South, and the Southeast, they have never had any difference before.
You are the one that does not know there's a secret war going on.
Between the South or the Southeast?
Yes, there's a secret war.
Between the South and the Southeast. A war of the mind. A war of consciousness that is going on within the southern part of the country. You want me to mention them? I can go ahead and mention names. And I can tell you that it becomes very clear. Okay, if Nigeria, I'm not advocating that Nigeria should be divided. If Nigeria should be divided into how many do you want Nigeria to be divided into?
Okay, let me tell you, I'm not interested how many this thing, because if they are going to break Yoruba nation and create one nation, create two nations in Southwest, it's okay. They can create Yoruba nation and create one nation in Yoruba land. It's okay. As long as, because I can tell you that 50% of the Yorubas are Muslims and 50% are Christians.
What about the South and the Southeast?
Okay, there's nothing like South on this issue, whether you like it or not. I listened to Ned Nwoko very well. Ned, I think it was on Tenet.
Nwoko is advocacy for anonymous state.
No, you didn't listen to that interview. What did he say? He said 75% of people in South are Igbos. Do you listen to that? Including the governor of Rivers State, who is from Opopo. So what are you talking about? We know the calculation of the South thing. We know how South came about. What we are saying is very clear. I'm not interested.
There may be people in tribe and choose to remain in South.
No, but brother, and let me tell you, ab initio, a lot of people were asking questions, about Biafra. What did it mean of Biafra? How did Biafra came about? Who originated Biafra? After Biafra did not come from the Igbo.
And they say it's a Portuguese name.
Biafra is an alien. It's alien to the Igbo nation. And some people are saying Igbo Republic. That is not correct. I think I've said this over and over again. The first kingdom on earth, a lot of people will not believe it. And other than the Portuguese, even before the Portuguese, colonization came, there has been Biafra. There's a lot of journalists, including Gubernur, but he does not know about it. When anybody asks, you start mentioning. Are you trying to tell me that it was the Portuguese that established the name called Biafra? They are not the one. They renamed an existing name.
before they came. The name had been existing before they came. Go and do your research very well. And if you look at it, you know, the demography shows very clearly that that name was specifically for a particular people. And if you look at it, I can tell you, so most of those areas, go and look at the ancient map of the Portuguese. You will come and tell me where the south and where the south rubbish. Nobody will accept that. Anybody that does not want to stay in Biafra for whatever reason, with all the territorial share, you know, under protection, to relocate to the north. Biafra had made criteria. Let me tell you, you saw what is happening in the land now. I said the Kuba is on the law. The people have risen against him. You are seeing it online every day now. The same thing we are saying, that time will come that the era of those people will no longer be seen as relevant again. Can you go and tell somebody like General Sabuja now that there's something like South and he believes you? So the awareness is getting on. So there is core unification agenda that is, you know, already moving in that direction. So the best thing for the world to do is to look at it critically. And first of all, you know, not south, north and south. There's not like north and south. Declare the region that are advocating.
Mr. Chinedu, where will you keep the people of the Benue State, the people of Kwara State? Where are they going to fall on?
Okay, Benue State, let me tell you.
Benue
State, if you look at the real map of Biafra, the old Eastern Province, that's what they call it, old Eastern Province. Before they begin to remove the names of change the names of people. Go and look at it. Where was Benue? Where was Benue included as old Eastern Province? Where was Benue? Benue is part of Biafra. Kogi is part of Biafra. The Ambazonia that was given referendum to pull out from Biafra, Abi, that's today part of Cameroon. So you've never come to that point of asking such questions. It's a very clear thing. We are the one that go closer to the waters. And I can tell you that the joy you are talking about, and I can tell you, if you go to Ijo land, there's Igbo there, there's Ishekiri, there's Urobo. In Ijo. And if you remove all these minorities within that space, you discover that, you know, Ijo has no population.